Olivia, Caroline, and Heather, all MSc students in the gender department. And we have come here from all different countries, but have arrived at the LSE with a shared history of feminist activism, particularly a history of experience with gendered violence and sexual harassment on campus. Our project is curious about student perceptions of safety at the in the LSE community, and we chose this topic because of a commitment to the LSE, as well as a deep concern with evident gaps in LSE policies. As we come to understand the causes of things, we must acknowledge that such issues are intimately connected to our campus community. Today, we will briefly summarize our project, but we encourage all those interested to read our full report. And these are really brief summaries of complex and nuanced experiences with security and safety.
So I will be taking you through our methodology. We did quantitative as well as qualitative analyses through a survey. The survey included an interactive map of the LSE campus, as well as 4 open-ended questions. And I would also like to raise some limitations that we came across in our methods. Firstly, the domination of COVID impacted students' understanding of safety at this current point in time, understandably, and also the fact that the closure of campus meant that our survey was impacted in its reach because students weren't able to access campus. And then lastly, our demographics showed that predominantly women and non-binary people responded to the survey. And whilst we are aware that this does not widely represent the student body, we feel that it is very revealing that those were the students who were most likely to raise concerns about safety.
So this is the results of our participatory mapping section of our survey, where students could interact with different sections of the LSE campus map and rank them as safe, neutral, or unsafe. This map specifically only reflects students who marked the area as unsafe, but we acknowledge that we want all students to feel safe on campus. So this is reflecting students who marked an area as unsafe or neutral. So around 20% of students would have marked an area as unsafe if it's red. Just a few things to highlight. There's a lot of rich data in these maps, but one is that there's a huge difference between campus at night and campus during the day. Lincoln's Inn Field tends to be an area of concern, as well as areas where construction is currently happening. And then roads where students are able to access transport links were marked as a concern as well.
So this takes us to our qualitative findings, which also corroborate with what Olivia just highlighted. So we included questions in order for students to elaborate whether they felt that their identity impacted their perceptions of safety, and also questions asking students to elaborate just further on their experiences of safety at LSE. And then from these questions, we concluded that in our replies, the most commonly named factor that students reported was their gender, followed by sexuality and race, to impact their perceptions of safety. And then further external factors that were most commonly cited were poor street lighting, especially in small and narrow lanes on campus, and then walking alone, again, especially at night. And then lastly, as Olivia already highlighted, the construction site in Portsmouth Street was highlighted, where students said that they had concerns about accessibility. And we also included some direct quotes from students here on this slide.
Hi there. So from the findings that both Caroline and Olivia have highlighted to you already, I'm going to run through our key recommendations. So firstly, we recommend improved lighting in and around campus, particularly on the narrower streets. The areas highlighted on our map, such as Portsmouth Street and the roads surrounding Lincoln Inn Fields, were flagged for feelings of unsafety from students. Secondly, and this I think is key, there should be at the leadership level, institutional leadership of awareness raising, and comprehensive further research is required. This report offers potential avenues for that research, potentially discrimination due to minority characteristics, safety as perceived as financial insecurity, and of course, something that came back throughout this was sexual harassment on campus. Thirdly, building off last year's Changemakers research project, which focused on access to support around sexual misconduct, it is evident that there needs to be clearer signposting on campus for the staff members who are trained as a safe contact. We would recommend that this get expanded and more clearly signposted. Our fourth suggestion is that because construction came up so many times within these reports, we believe that it needs to be prioritized in terms of student safety. We recommend ensuring pavements are accessible, for example, on St. Portsmouth Street, and communication with the student body is essential when any major construction work is happening so that students can be best informed of their space and the campus. Finally, we recommend that LSE implement mandatory consent workshop initiatives. This has been proven in our literature review from several other university institutions to be successful. Education is vital when combating sexual and gender-based violence, and we suggest these workshops be tailored to individual positions within the institution. For example, freshers would receive introductory conversations about consent, whereas students in positions of leadership in societies and sports teams would receive leadership-specific consent workshop training. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and attention. We encourage further curiosity on these questions and are here to answer any and all questions.